In a world where, in a world where,
Where are we in this world?
they got to bring that guy back because the rent is too high right now.
Who's this guy?
It was he ran on a campaign in the States, and he had one of those like old style mustache, black dude, and then his slogan was the rent's too damn high.
Oh,
That has to happen again because like this
that's
is
funny.
this is ridiculous. But anyways, this is the vent. I'm one of your hosts, Del Najero.
Hi guys, the nerds here, in the midst of a half-baked face.
A half baked face.
Half-baked.
It's an interesting terminology.
Yes, not fully baked. Half-baked.
That's that's all right. Hope you guys are enjoying your evening on this wonderful Sunday. Now, how was your week?
My week has been pretty good. Can't lie. I have learned a lot this week. I was teaching Premiere Pro
Oh,
to
oh,
a
sure.
few adults, so people know, because I'm a photographer, I also do workshops.
Right.
And I teach people how to edit, how to take pictures, etc., etc. And today not today, but like on that day, I was teaching adults how to use Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, and I learned so much about teaching adults. So much.
Okay.
Because adults, they form their patterns as to what they think their learning style is. And as a teacher, I had to learn how to figure out ways to connect the world that they know to something new.
Connect the world
That they
they
know.
know to something new.
Yes.
Okay, that's a
Yeah. So it's
interesting.
like Premiere Pro, how does this apply? How does this work? One of the analogies that I use or metaphors was a lady had asked me, she's like, what is the purpose of these two tools to trim a video? And she's like, what's the point? She's like, it's just there. And I'm just like, think of it like football. There are two end posts,
Right.
but
There's two end posts.
right, two end posts, but we don't start at every end post per
Per
like play,
per play, yeah.
right? And she's like, okay. And I was like, yeah, we usually start wherever the ball lands or wherever it gets tackled or picked up.
Yeah.
And then we count for the end part of where the ball gets dropped or tackled.
Right.
That's the part that we use, and we count or account for the yards. And she's like, oh, okay. And I was like, it's the exact same thing when you're doing your edits. You're only marking the part that you want in and out, and that's the parts that you're keeping.
And that's the part you're keeping, yeah.
Yes, that's the only part we account for. And that was it. I had to bring real life football, what she knew, so this could make sense. And I didn't realize how many times I had to use analogies to teach.
I mean,
It was crazy.
yeah. Yeah, you gotta use a lot.
Yeah. But then it also made me think of the Bible
And
at that point.
okay, how that connect
How did it
how
connect?
to connect together
Because the Bible is full of parables and full of analogies,
which it is.
right? And it's basically teaching you everything you need to know about life and spirituality.
Basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Yeah. So it was very interesting to see that the Bible was probably really a book made for adults. So it could help you guide and bring your world into it. Yes. So you could learn something new and open your eyes to something new.
That's interesting.
It was very interesting for me. I said, oh, look at that. Connecting my faith. Listen, I'm just saying.
That's so. Hold on.
You're taking it in now, huh?
Well, not just that, but like the whole like. I wish there was like. There's probably a study about this. But the study I'm thinking about is education today versus like let's say in the 70s, right?
Oh, so different.
Like the fact you have to use like all analogies after analogies, and they're like, "Oh, I finally got it."
Yeah.
Versus, I'm just guessing. Maybe in the '70s, and '80s, there was less. You could just explain something
And
so
people.
linear, and then it's like there's a higher chance they'll get it, as opposed to today where it's like, you'll see something linear and they'll be like, "What does that mean?" And then
You have to go through it. Yeah.
What does that mean? Do you know the? Well, I'm surprised you didn't get jumbled up in references. You might get hit them like because you could have said football, and they'd be like, "Well, I don't watch football," and then you have to be like,
Use another thing.
use nothing." Oh,
It's true.
I don't know that show.
Yeah.
But, you know.
And that tells you how versed you are in this world too. As a person, being able to like relay information and let it be relatable to people. You try to find the most narrow or most like concise or at least a shared experience that many people would have
Right.
in order for you to explain it and simplify it, right? So that was a very interesting experience. I enjoyed it very much. I like teaching, but it's like sometimes you don't realize how hard it is until you really sit down and actually have to do it.
I don't know if this sounds like a one and done thing. Like you're about to be like, you know what? I did this for a week and I think I'm good.
No, like it's a part of my job. Like it's what I do. So, well, like I enjoy teaching. I went to school for teaching, but it was just so interesting to see how it came to be and how somebody actually interpreted information. So that was interesting. How information is interpreted.
Right.
So it just also makes me think of like how the media interprets things for us.
I mean, that is true.
Right?
The only thing I have in my week is I have sports injuries, but I don't even play
A
sports.
sport injury?
I don't even play sports like that. Like,
Wait, what? What were you doing, sir?
but I think that it's a common thing that most people have. It's like lower back pain, right?
Got you.
So sometimes you have a pain threshold day of like 3 to 4. Some people manage it. Other times, you have what they call a flare up, and when you get a flare up now, it's like someone took the. Not only it's worse, but like it's like someone took like the hottest knife in the planet and just jabbed you in the lower back. But it's repeatedly. Sometimes you're just sitting there, just like and, laying there, you know.
It's not funny, but
It's the it's it's not.
I know exactly what it means.
I have to laugh at it, but nah, man. It's,
I get it.
I gotta do some physio and see.
Gotta stretch, man.
Okay, for those like watching at home, when a flare up is happening, don't stretch. Just relax.
Just okay, just relax. Yeah.
Just because stretching.
But once it passes,
Once it passes, and yeah. But even I'm a little paranoid of that too, because I don't know.
Stretching.
I don't know if I'll like stretch and then be like,
pull something.
Oh, no, not again. And then.
No, I feel that. I understand.
Be on the floor limping. Like, nah, man.
In agony.
I don't know. This. Get it. I'm just. But one thing, on a serious note, even though that is serious, but on a more serious note, the lack of family doctors in this city
is getting higher.
Shocking.
It's getting higher.
Because while I was looking, I was calling like walk-in after walk-in after walk-in, and I'm like, sorry, we're full. Try this one. Sorry, we're full. Try this one. Sorry, we're full. Try this one.
Yep.
Yo, it's brutal out here. You gotta.
Sometimes I just think they're lying, but you know what? That's me.
See, I don't ever rule that out, but like at the same time, like
sometimes
we have a brain drain. Like they're not getting paid like that up here, so they kind of just they leave and go to the States.
Yeah, I think that's just what it is. They're just like, we need help, but you want help? Sorry, we can't help you.
Like the amount of nurses that were lost during like the peak of COVID, like I reached some stats where like they lost like 30% of their workforce.
Yep.
Like.
Yep. All that because they don't want to pay them. It's crazy.
Even with the union, they didn't really get.
Crazy.
They didn't get paid like that, and they have a union too.
Mad crazy, man.
That's, I don't know.
The things we do here in Canada.
Like right now, like one of our I think one of the many topics in our Toronto segment. The strike, man. Like this strike right now is like.
Why does it turn out? Where is the battery?
I don't think it's the.
No, it's just the screen. Yeah.
Like this strike right now, like. The fact I read something where they plan to start like moving the strike lines to like what they call a more strategic area, meaning
Ottawa.
Ottawa, yes, or like they'll hit areas where a border, perhaps, that's a little.
Oh dear.
That's a little extreme. Canada Post, which I read, I was like, okay, you guys are. I don't know about all that, but
All those Amazon packages.
all those. The day someone disrupts that, that's gonna be a whole nother.
I wouldn't be shocked if they're not already starting.
If someone disrupts that, I think, but in general, I think they're slower in general because I think a lot of people, like, quit over, like the COVID break and everything like that, and you can tell like the services are like sometimes you would order something, and it should be able to come the next day if you have Prime, right? But then other days it's like, the next day, the next day after next day after, and you're like, what's going on? Like, what? What do you mean the package went back? Oh, actually, I can get a refund. What happened?
Trust me.
But nah, the CRA though.
That is interesting. Like, I'm really still trying to figure out why.
Right.
Why are we... Like, what is the reason? Like, is it just because they're not getting a good pay?
That's one.
Is it because the workload is too much and they're not compensated for it? Is it because, like...
Some of it's work from home related too. Cause
some people wanted to not come back into the office.
Right, yeah.
And the only reason why I could think that could be a thing is because they got a tax write-off when you're working from home. They want to keep it. Why would I want to not get paid extra for working from home?
Right.
I want to get paid.
Now, if you're like, but one of the articles you linked though, it explained like what services are not.
Yeah, so it's on Ontario. I think it's either a Toronto or Ontario website that lists all the services that Toronto or Ontario is no longer going to be that's no longer going to be available due to the strike.
Right.
And which services are interrupted and which ones are not.
Right.
So a lot of the services, even things that we thought would not even be a part of it, are affected. Like the mounted police. They are affected.
The Mounties.
And then like even fisheries and something else, they're also affected. So it's like all these places that you would think are not associated and a part of Canadian infrastructure are definitely a part of the taxes.
Right.
And it's like, it's so crazy how like integral or how deep and like the veins of CRA are attached to everything. Like,
right.
Any disruption, all these industries are now getting affected. So our economy could like crash.
Right.
Because of that.
And the fact, like, right now, in terms of, no one's really coming to the table at the moment.
Yes.
Right? Like, like I was struggling to say earlier, the PSAC leader, he's trying to like do border blocking and disrupting Canada Post and all types of like, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a stretch. It's effective, but
yeah, but like, okay, so they're trying to. So that's what you were saying. They're trying to find different strategies to now enforce or make it serious.
to make it more serious.
Yeah.
To make it more serious.
And it's like it's not serious enough.
I mean, that's pretty.
Like people's payouts are gonna be delayed. People's refunds are gonna be delayed.
That part.
What else is gonna be delayed? There's gonna be so many things that are gonna be delayed.
Like health cards, we say.
Yeah, passports can't even be renewed. So if you thought you were leaving for vacation, think again.
Yo, if they don't resolve this by, hold on, we're in April right now.
Where are you going?
April next week is done.
Where are you going?
May is coming up.
Where are you going?
If they don't resolve this in May, June's here.
Where are you going?
It's June now, and you're like, wait, July. No, how are we in July and it's not...
But where are you going?
And it's only, what, for emergencies only.
Just want to say, if you have your passport and it's due anytime from now to who knows the rest of this year.
Yeah, it's crazy how you have to throw it up in the air like that. It's like you don't know.
You don't know when they're going to come on a settlement for this. You don't know. Will you be in Canada for the rest of the... You may have to bear the cold. All those years that you were gone and you could be a snowbird. Yeah.
Oh,
You're not going to stay here.
You brought up a good thing. So the snowbirds now.
Everyone who travels during the cold season and then come back for the warm season, if your stuff is...
For those that don't know, snowbirds is like, people who leave...
Who leave during the cold seasons.
Cold season, yeah. Particularly, Florida is the hot spot for that. Mm-hmm. Well, I think it has the most Canadians...
whenever, yeah.
Living there, yeah. Mm-hmm. Right?
Oh.
But that could interrupt... That could all go away.
Mm-hmm. All of that could be gone.
Wow.
Because CRA said... We are having a strike.
Like I said, the strategy is nice because you have to respect the strategy. They did it in tax season. They didn't do it in off season. They said,
"Yeah, you want your refund?
Do we want it kind of like?
You want it now? Oh, you want it in 3 days? Oh, you want it in 2 weeks? Because it's really technically 14 days, 2 weeks,
right? That
you get it, especially if you're mailing it to you.
Especially if the
right.
Yeah.
Takes about 4 to 6. They say 4 to 6 weeks for everything, but it's like 14 days. That's what they say, not including the weekends.
Not including the weekends too. Wait, don't small businesses go through CRA or they have their own thing?
They go through CRA as well.
Ooh.
Yep. Businesses are also interrupted by this.
Probably not big ones. So they probably do their own. Like they may have a separate account for CRA and then.
Baby.
What do you mean?
It's all affected because now if you're owing, you got to move that money somewhere. You got to take that money out somewhere.
We'll see by this. We'll see by this week what's happening because.
Or if you have to make a payment now, that payment is it going to be received on time? We will never know. You might have to pay that NSF fee now.
The NSF fee. Oh, what that?
What is it? Non-servable fund or non-serviceable something. But it's basically $48 per transaction. That is.
Whoa.
Yep.
$48
per transaction that they try to attempt to take any money, and it could be $2. It could be that you have $60 in your account, and the amount that they're charging you is $62, and because you missed the $2, you get the money back. But then they charge you $48. So now you're in a deficit of $12. Or you have $12 left.
Right.
Out of the $60 you already originally had.
That's
now you gotta find another $48. Plus your $60.
That's and the thing is, I forgot it was a news organization. They interviewed Justin, he just said the equivalent of like, I just hope they come to an agreement and they figure it out. He basically said, "I hope they just figure it out." Can something else happen? Can you say something more? Like,
Where's his involvement?
but do something. I don't know. Like you hope they figure it out. I mean,
Are you not at the table?
I don't. That part I don't.
This sounds like he's like, oh, they're squabbling. They'll figure it out.
No, but yeah, that's that is the same
Like-
equivalent. Yeah, like
Yeah, I know they'll figure it out.
huh?
What are they figuring? Shouldn't you be manning somewhere, ensuring that they don't kill each other, that everything is operable?
But
This
like,
seems like a very neglectful parent. But you know what?
oh,
In the sense of the state of Canada.
in the state, yeah, a neglectful parent. That's
That's what it's coming off like.
on top of that, like as a woven topic. The rent here, like, it's like every time I blink my eyes, it just
It gets higher.
it gets higher,
And
like
higher. And higher.
they're saying 3,000 now a month. 1,200 for a room, guys. So like
$1,200 for one room?
a room like this.
Like a 200 square feet?
That sounds that sounds no. I think
Less?
a room
Like 100?
no a room is
A
like
room
half.
is like 80. No, you're right. A room is like 80 square feet.
They wish they had 200.
Because 100 by 100 is what? No,
See-
sorry. 10 by 10 is 100. Yeah, so it's 100 square feet.
10, yeah.
Yeah, for a room. But most rooms, especially if you had like a master bedroom, it's like 11, 10 by 15.
Right.
So that's like 150. A small one would be like a 9 by 9, which is basically like 81.
Nah, but you got landlords that say, you know what,
That's crazy.
you want a place to stay. I have this room here. The fee will be anywhere from like, you're not getting anything 900. That price is not coming back. But you get something like 1,000 for a room, 1,100.
It's the fact that you're saying $1,000 for one room. No.
Like a room like
no
this.
kitchen, no bathroom, or anything included.
Not included, but you share the access to it. That's how it is being that's how it's being fed to you. Fed is a worse word. I couldn't think of a word. I apologize.
Interesting.
That's how it's being presented to you. That's a better word. Yeah. Just you have your room. Okay, the kitchen's like over here. You have access to the fridge. By the way, if you buy something, there's a high chance someone will go in the fridge and eat your food.
Yeah, like
That's the fine print that's not there. Oh, by the way, someone can just walk into your room, look through your stuff, especially if you're in a house where like
there's no keys on those doors.
there's no, if you're even allowed to have keys.
Yeah, and a lock to your own entrance.
That's a bad setup, cause it's one thing when you're in an apartment building or condo, and the landlord just. I know they don't decide to come in, but like sometimes like condos have scheduled visits where they gotta fix something, right? But like in a room situation like this, like you're in a basement, and then the landlord will be living on the main floor, and then in the basement you have one room, one person's there, and then you have another room, what person's there, and then in another room, what person's
I've seen
there.
those places, yes.
And you're just like, okay. And then it's just everyone's in the same fridge, and then all it starts is like, oh, who ate my da-da-da? Oh, who drank off my da-da-da? Yo, I locked my door here. Who went through my door? Yo. If they do get along, you could run into a situation where like they're like, yo, I think the landlord just goes in our room when we're not here. Like I go for work, and the landlord's just in my room just looking for stuff.
That's great.
Like that's nah, man.
I mean, if that is the direction that Canada is moving towards, especially when it comes to housing, my only question would be, where did they find this blueprint from? And why don't they maximize on the amount of unaccessed land? And not the green belt.
Not the green, yeah, not there.
But land that is available around the perimeters that can keep these prices low. I mean, you don't need to. This is definitely like inflation, or like as that person said, deflation. Where it's like the price stays the same, but the amount that you get decreases. So it's like the rent for a 1-bedroom apartment or like even a bachelor apartment would have been $1,200.
Right.
Including a kitchen, including a bathroom, all private.
That was 2014,
right?
15?
And then now we're settling
around there.
And this is what I'm going to say. These words I'm going to use. Now we are settling or allowing people to have infrastructures where we are paying $1,200 for a bedroom.
It's like the abuse we were talking about earlier. That really is abuse in a way.
Like, what is happening? Not even a kitchen, not even a bathroom to yourself privately.
Hold on, wait.
If this has to be a matter of people's well-being and or their sanitation practices has gotten like worse over the years, and this is what they're accommodating, listen. I was about to say go bed, but you know, like
if you can,
if that is the case, then that's a problem. But it's also kind of like giving that whole how retirement homes are when people are in like that same structure of like what people in homes are in. But if you're in a home, that means somebody's actually overseeing and watching you, and there's a reason why you need to have that many people in that space. It's not like they are caring for themselves. Some of them may have mobility issues. It could be old age. It could be the fact that, or it's just even also resembling like prisons.
That's actually that's like a deeper topic. Because it could either resemble, prisons or the college dorm.
Yeah,
but it's like
dorm.
But it's like forever college dorm.
Yes, you're forever living in that.
So it's either
that is the experience somebody wants to recreate, but they want other people to live that. Please stop.
Like even some parts of New York is bad too. Like some parts of New York they'll split half a room.
Yeah.
Like they'll take a 200 square room and they'll split half a room.
Just to do that. And that's just to like ends meet. Or make ends meet.
Right.
Because the prices of the actual like living situation is too high. What's the reason? What is the reason? Honestly, this is my theory. Okay, guys? Here's my theory.
Oh, okay.
My theory is we had changed too many residents into commercial properties too quickly. That's one.
Okay.
2, we allowed Airbnb to monopolize in a lot of our residents. So once you do that, it now becomes a commercial front. It no longer is just a home where people just live and that's it.
Right.
No. So that adds to it.
What about all what people buying like a whole floor?
Yeah, like that too.
I'll take two whole floors.
A whole monopolizing on a whole level of like a place.
Like that's
buying it out and then just like leaving it vacant. Vacant rooms cause inflation in the market,
right?
Because nobody's actually living in them. The space is not occupied, and because it's not occupied, it stays on the market for longer. And then it's just like, oh well, there's not enough houses circulating, especially if they block it off. So they can be vacant, but they buy it out and they do nothing with these rooms. So they say, oh, not enough houses are available on the market. They are blocked off, and therefore the prices for housing goes up because it's like supply and demand. Oh, you need a house so badly? Let me just charge it a little bit higher for you because that's what's available. And it's like, why? So those 3 things, I feel, impacted our housing market here in Canada. And instead of being smart, and we're out here begging for affordable housing, but then we're not recognizing under what guise does affordable housing look like.
True. Okay, that's a fair point to say.
Right? Because if we're gonna be like, oh, affordable housing, and it's like, well, here's what affordable housing is. It's a dorm.
It's yo. When you put it like that, that's so you either have the option of you stay with your parents and you stack up too. So if you're gonna stay with your parents, you be stacking, you'll be saving as much as you can. Or you'd be like, okay, if I'm going to get my own space, I either have a room. I do get a condo, but I split it with the
A possible roommate.
roommates with an S. So it's dorm life.
Or, you know what this is also, now that I'm thinking about this,
What?
this is also maybe promoting the concept of marriage.
Okay, we can tickle that a little bit. Okay, so in the sense of,
You might as well find a mate that you actually like so you can live there together and pay the rent.
cause I read stories where like people be in a room and they'll share the same bed. So it's just like,
That's it.
and then for those, like how nature works is like, eventually you just like the person, like even if you meet them first impressions and people are like, yo, I don't, your first impression of you was blah, blah, blah. After a while, it's like I think it's, I don't know if it's a specific hormone that the animal kingdom uses, but you just end up in a kinship
With that person.
of that person or whatever you're attracted to, right? It's like one of those. You ever heard those experiments where like people would be trapped? I don't know if it's bonded by trauma, but one of the experiments I read before was like not an experiment, but like an experience where like a elevator accident happened and everyone's in the elevator crammed up, and then they noticed studying the people after the time that some people linked up as couples, some people became greater friends because like the experience, right? So maybe this experience of like, holy, I can't get a house right now. I can't even get an apartment right now. Let me just shack up in this room, and then in a weird way, there'll be stronger bonds in the future of people.
Maybe.
There's no privacy though. Like it's just
Yeah, it's the privacy. Out here, Canada's out here talking about privacy wars and trying to fight all these things, but then here they are physically interrupting your privacy and making it very hard for you to have a private life.
yeah.
Digitally, privacy. Fighting for it. But physically, you're going to have to share the toilet with somebody else and possibly get mono.
Okay, I didn't even like the mono thing threw me off. That was and possibly get mono.
Yeah, possibly. You know, this person decides to pick up your cup after they were doing who knows what with last night.
And then you end up getting mono.
Now you got mono.
That is it's a weird time right now. Like it's just yeah, the whole like dorm
Yeah.
thing is like
Honestly, if that is, and that's where you have to start reading into policies more, where it's like, oh, they're like, oh, Canada needs more affordable housing. Those politicians who are fighting for it, it's like, yes, we definitely need it. We hear you. We're going to provide you affordable housing. We're going to get the infrastructure that you need. And then when they're like, here's our plan, blah, 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 a whole bunch of like long talking.
nonsense, right?
And then when they build it, then you're looking at the space like,
First of all, the lack of units, like
what is this?
it's not even a lot.
I can understand doing the IKEA type of like building where it's very beautiful. You know, you can makeshift and like transform a room. They do very great with that space. But they don't even look like IKEA.
I mean,
I'm upset.
on top of that too, like I think we discussed it before. Like there's like people immigrating here, like 500,000. They say it'll hit like a mill if it's not already a mill, and it'll hit 2 million a year.
But
2 million a year.
Why does everyone have to live in Toronto? Ontario exists, you know, Ontario.
No, but to be fair though, it's the service thing. It's the culture here.
Yeah.
It's the service thing. I have to say it twice.
But like, if we had more development in other places, we would then be able to get better transportation towards the entire like province.
Which is fair, but I don't know. They're not thinking like that. They're like,
That's the thing. Like, build up the rest of the places that exist or already have some townships. Build it up. It's okay. Like, me being in Timmins 8 hours away, It was a beautiful place, a nice neighborhood. It was amazing.
Right.
But it was short. But it had a lot of land and it was available and they had great jobs. All they need to do is put the funding where it needs to be and then it's done. Even
Right.
Little Rock, which is like another 2 hours north, so 10 hours away from Toronto. And it was such a beautifully like laid out space.
Right.
But it's like, just use the space. It's there. Use it. Pay the people to go and live out in places.
It's no, but you think. See, the thing is, yes, they come to Toronto, but like at the same time, like it's like Toronto, Ajax, Mississauga,
That's a
Scarborough,
GTA though.
even Milton, Vaughan, and then I gotta
Barrie.
go Barrie, like even like all those areas, Sudbury, not Sudbury, too far, like
Sudbury's 4 hours.
St. Catharines or like Kitchener
Niagara.
or Oshawa, Niagara. It's the whole. Remember though, it's not just Toronto anymore. It's like that whole,
Even Orangeville.
even Orangeville, that whole,
Orangeville could be developed, honestly. That is a beautiful space.
or Guelph, right? Right, but right now it's like, it's so bad that even like the outskirts, the suburbs, everyone's being pushed out. And the thing is, because it's not being developed, like there's no services there. But what they don't tell you about that is like you move to, let's say you move to Markham, you need a car. You can't. There's no public transport, nothing. You need a car in Markham. You need a car in Ajax. You need a car in Milton. You need a car in Orangeville, Barrie. Like,
Yeah, like all these people who are there rebuilding homes that exist already. Why? Just build a home out there. That should be our build a program.
I thought Ajax had, not I thought, but I thought Ajax has like a lot of land. The
Yeah.
last time I haven't seen it since I was like a legit, but
A lot of those places have a lot of land. They have a lot of land.
it's like just
Yeah.
put services there.
Yeah.
Like,
Put the actual commercial fronts in those places and you will see a world of a difference. World. This is the reason why I sit here questioning, who are these urban planners in
the city
Ontario?
wasn't planning. They didn't think of when they were planning the city like in the 1930s, 40s, 50s. Like they didn't think of like no,
The
the city's gonna explode.
expansion,
Yeah,
yeah.
they didn't think like this would explode like
And even now it's like,
population
oh,
wise.
let's look at the trends and see how everything's working. I mean, based on these policies where we're accepting a lot of immigrants, refugees, etc., at the rate that we're accepting them
It's a lot.
you would
It's a high
think
number.
that the urban planners would sit there and be like, well, because you are doing this at the rate that you're doing, and we're going to have populations of this many people at a rate of whatever,
Right.
we might as well start to do X, Y, and Z and develop these areas. They're going to be the Crown's places anyways, right? We have public housing. That's a part of the Crown. So, like, I don't know why we're going to start acting like we are brand new. Like, we don't have these housings. There's been many generations where, like, in the 70s, developments that were definitely from the government. Even the government takes land as collateral for places that have not even been paid for. And they
Okay.
resell it. So it's like, these things exist. Why are we acting like this?
Like,
Like,
if people are not working from home, this idea,
of infrastructure?
yeah, it's been suggested many times. Like, just take those retail offices downtown and just they'd have to break the whole thing down. They can't modify it because the plumbing is different and the electrical is different. But take those, knock it down, and then just build.
I don't even think they should do that. That's like how I feel about schools. They shouldn't tear down a school and build it up to be something else. To be honest,
That's crazy.
just because you see right now that the population may be small, doesn't mean that the generation like us don't plan to have 5, 6 kids.
My girl's a 5 kid. 5.
You don't
I
know,
tap out a 3,
but still, 3
No,
is more than
but
what
3, yeah, 3's
they're
more than that.
averaging even here for like the average Canadian.
Which is like one and a half.
One and a
average,
half.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like you don't know what kind of population you're gonna get.
There's a school, or used to be a school on Dufferin and Bloor. They're knocking that whole thing over, and they'll probably throw a condo there.
And it's like, why are you putting all these condos? Like, where they put these condos It's just wild.
I think
Just wild.
this street alone has one as you're going south. There's one going up there. Then take in the joke. Then on the opposite side, in front of that one, the condo, in the plaza, they're gonna knock that whole plaza over and put another one. And then you go to the next plaza over and guess what? They're putting another one.
Yeah.
Like
They're doing this like how Toronto accepted weed shops everywhere on every corner.
and now those are getting like tossed around now, because like
This is what I'm saying. Whoever the urban planner is, I don't know, man.
I don't know, it's a
They're
bunch
just
of
doing
shit.
this for a joyride. Clearly, it's not fun.
It's
We are not having fun.
now I don't know. We usually have like our relationship segments because people are struggling out here.
Yeah.
They're sleeping in a bed where it gets cold on the other side. Some people be in relationships and they still be lonely. That's a deeper topic for another level.
Oh, I understand, but
But
not very hard. But
relationship wise, what's a
we had so many. There were so many on Instagram.
It's a lot, but
Oh my gosh, who told us to look at Instagram?
because you could do,
People are definitely deprived.
you can say, how's dating in the 30s. That's a whole nother. Then you got
Dating in the 30s. I think dating in the 30s should be abolished.
interesting. Your mind should. Yeah. Wait, no, let's play with it. Hold on. So your mind should have been made up by mid-20s.
Yeah, yo. I mean, like, I get it. I feel like if you're going to be in your 30s and you're dating, it's because you're divorced.
Oh.
I feel like that's the only reasonable thing that you should have when it comes to dating. But if you are going to date, then you should know your stuff and don't waste people's time. Simple.
Date with a purpose, yeah.
Yeah, date with a purpose.
Yeah,
like, date like you actually have things to do.
Like your tunnel vision. Like this is what.
Like, this is where I'm trying to be. And by then, I feel like, I get it, not everybody knows themselves even by the time they're 30.
Which, yeah.
But, you start living your life when you're 30, and it's understandable because, think of it, when you do the math after a while, you finish school, if, say, you're following the guide as to what they said numerically you're supposed to have, by the time you finish school, you would have finished school by the time you're 24. When you're 24, now you're supposed to go out into the job market. Let's say you're going to get your job, your actual dream job, within a year.
Right.
So you're 25 before you actually get your job. And then you're supposed to work, whether you're entry level or you're starting a little bit higher, right? To actually level up so you can support yourself and move out. That's going to possibly take about 3 years. So you're 28 now. 28 finally can financially put a little bit of money underneath your belt, right? Because then they say on top of it, it takes a little bit longer, like 10 years they say for your student debt. But let's say you get it done within 5 years. 5 years, you get it done. You finally get some money under your belt in the 3 years. So after 3 years, you're 31. In that time, you've had enough time to figure out what you are. Who you are.
Right.
And if you're going to settle down now, you're 31, you want to settle down, you want to have some kids, okay. You're going to do it. Right?
So it seems like if you miss your
young experience.
Your young experience, yeah, like you didn't get your high school sweetheart, womp womp.
Yeah.
You didn't get your college sweetheart.
Yeah.
You didn't get the work ting.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It shouldn't be the work ting.
Yeah.
And then you have online.
Yes.
And then if online doesn't work out, then ... What's
adopt a kid.
I'll say no. You know what?
Adopt a child.
I'm gonna go controversial.
What?
Now, I'd prefer.
Because there's nothing wrong with you.
I don't want to lean in on prefer, but
date with intention.
Yes. But it makes more sense for like if you adopt a kid as opposed to
Yeah.
like I'm just gonna have
A plethora of children with people that I'm not even trying to be with.
that is one. Mm-hmm. That's a very one. Mm-hmm. But another one is like some that have the mentality of like I just want to have a baby. Mm-hmm. And it's like yeah, but you don't want like the family structure. Like nah, I just want a baby. And you're like oh, and then some of them go through the treatment. Some of them making requests like you don't have to do anything. You don't have to show up. Let's just do this favor for me. Do me a solid.
Yeah.
And then just
give me the baby.
Just give me the baby.
Yeah. So now there's a little person of you running around in this world, and you're okay. At least your legacy continues. Versus
that's a I can never be comfortable with that. That's a very weird like
dynamic.
Yeah, like someone has my face, but I'm like,
but you don't know who they are.
I don't know who they are. That's one.
How they've been raised.
How they've been raised.
If they're treated well.
Are they treated well? Like.
Understood.
Like that's a weird.
But we're out here not enforcing marriage either. So. Listen.
She's saying bring the shotgun wedding back.
Listen. If you're gonna be 30, date with intention. Date with the idea that you're ready to settle down. Because by the time you get to what? You got 20 years before you turn 50.
Wait, how many years?
You got 20 years. If you're in your 30s.
20, okay, yeah. Okay.
You got about 20 years before you're 50.
The half-life.
Yeah. And by then, what? Most times, or on average, I think the lifespan after that is like, you got another 13 years?
Okay.
Sorry. I hate to be this person, but thinking about it, I'm
going to say the average 20. I don't 20-something. I don't know about 13. 13 is wild.
63.
Like, so the retirement, and you're just like, and you're to the light.
Yeah.
That's very dark. But
but it's just to say, like, you don't have all that when you're in your 30s now. How much time do you have really for your dating? You're not going to have children after that.
Because of the risk.
I'm not going to say you're not. People do have children in their 50s.
Yeah.
But in a safe, what they regulate as a safe, normal span of to have a healthy child with and not having any type of like health issues as it progresses, you know, like 30 to 40 is like that reasonable age.
30 to 40.
Right?
Yeah.
But once you get to like 40, now you're treading on water here.
Right.
For men, it may be a little different, but you never know. As you get older, it doesn't mean that people want to touch you. So.
That's all, yeah.
That's the other thing, that you may not have the health issues, but maybe people don't want to look at you.
Because of the...
Because now you're looking old and creepy.
You have the wrinkle forehead.
Yep.
And
you're looking old.
Yo.
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, okay. Now, we'll do a... It's a... Oh, geez. This one. Okay. Now, this couple now... Lord of mercy. We'll just try to speed through this. But
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to rush, but it's like I have a ball today, so that's the reason why I'm like
an actual ball. No, not an actual ball, but
like a ball, like ballroom, like voguing, and like woo, yes, wow, yes. So right now I'm trying to work against time. It's like
against time. I'll just read the title. I'll link the story in the description as well. But should I, 28 female, tell my ex, 32 male fiance that he was cheating on both of us? Both of us. Okay, I'm a bone thug because Harmony. I'm just speed through. So I, 20F, was dating my ex, 32M, exclusively from March to November 2022. Okay, our relationship was long distance from one European capital to another. He was loving and attentive to the point of adulation. Okay. The relationship was serious and was driven completely by him. He would make most of the effort to travel to see me. However, we also had multiple trips together across Europe. Okay. He moved back to the U.S. in July, and we decided to continue the relationship with the extra distance. He continued to be just as loving, enthusiastic, and attentive. He had a flight booked to see me in November. However, approximately a week beforehand, he did a 180 broke up with me suddenly the day after a care package for him came. After the day after a care package for him from me arrived. Okay, I was awoken by a phone call which was cold and cruel. It was like speaking with a different person. Okay.
Okay.
She's moved on, so I've moved on very well from this. However, this week, my friend informed me that she saw online that he is engaged to his ex. Oh, they have a date set, venue booked, and a wedding website created for a summer 2024 wedding. The timeline is far too quick for there not to be an overlap of him dating us both. Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, okay.
For us to break up in November, then them to get together, get engaged, have all the major elements of a wedding planned by April is just not feasible. Like, at the latest, April is just when I became aware of this. They could have had all this planned long beforehand, but okay. What troubles me even more is that this ex is someone I caught him texting when we were at a dinner last July. This makes me think that potentially not only was there an overlap of him dating us both at the same time towards the end of our relationship, but that he was, in fact, also with her for the entirety of it.
Of their relationship.
Oh, shoot. Okay, wow.
But now he's marrying her.
Whoa, okay. I asked him who she was at the time, and he said it was a friend before admitting it was an ex. I was irked and requested that he not to text an ex when he was at dinner with me. However, said he was free to remain in contact with her should he wish. I'm not a controlling person and I don't feel threatened. Okay. He assured me he had no interest in her anymore and further had extremely damning things to say about her. He said that she had a terrible temper, was highly volatile, and physically abusive towards him. I felt heartbroken for him at the time and gave him space to talk about it. However, I strongly question the truth of this now. And basically, it's her question is, what should she do? Some of her friends believe it's a girl code duty to let his fiancée know. Now, right now we have Brother James coming in. How's it going?
All right.
It's now 9:32 where I'm at. How are you guys doing?
Well,
Well,
boogieing out too. That's what I'm doing.
right.
What?
I'm leaving.
Yeah, because
Where are you leaving? Where are you going?
I got a ball.
Oh, you go broke.
Yeah.
yeah, so
But anyways, you guys enjoy. I'm gonna just be zipping in and out, but
You guys still alive? Or you guys still potted or not?
yeah, I'm gonna wrap up the
but you should still do the last part because it's the relationship question. So enjoy that. My personal feedback on this before I dip is girl, it's none of your business. He's your ex. Why you who cares? It's your ex. Get
Oh.
over it. Boo. Bye. Now you learn the truth. Goodbye. All right.
Is this another case of the ex?
Wow, yes. Because just to summarize the story, she claims that the fiancé cheated on us, and the us meaning the girl in question that wrote the story, and his ex, who he's now marrying for next year.
So the girl cheated on the fiance that she's getting married to.
The gentleman did. So
And what happened? Is she trying to come back into the life or something? Or
she broke it off, but her thing is like, what does she do now?
why? Because is the ex still an issue?
I mean, they're getting married next year, so
But why is the ex still an issue?
I think
Did the ex come and say something to her? Is she still think about like why is the ex a thing?
right. But the thing is, I think her thinking is, I don't think the ex knows yet.
So
I think her thing is like, should I just let her know what's going on? Right?
I mean, the ex is still around.
Yeah.
Why?
Not around, but like the dude and the ex are doing their own thing right now. But it seems like she wants to be like, hey, just to let you know, when we were a thing, he was cheating on you as well. It seems like she wants to give it like an awareness.
She wants to give an awareness
Right.
to the ex that, hey, when you guys are engaged, she was talking to me.
Right. That's it.
But she's not talking to him right now.
Yeah, that engagement's been broken off. So
So that ex is completely out of the picture.
currently, yeah. So
Why
her
is
thing,
she trying to bring her back in the picture?
I don't. There's no. I don't think that X has the intention to rekindle the relationship. Nothing. It seems he just moved on. He's just like,
You see what happens when people just. I feel like some people self-sabotage certain things at the same time.
oh,
Why, if the stove was on and it burned your hand, or it burned the person's hand, like I'm trying to make it sense. You're basically turning back on the stove. Why are you
right,
turning back on the stove? Why are you pouring more gas and just waiting for a spark to come?
right. That's okay. That's
But at the same time, there's some people that just love that type of mix-up and excitement.
okay. That's an interesting way to look at it. Like, so for those
You know
listening
what
at
I mean?
home, like,
It don't make no sense why that's the issue. Why they going off like that? I think she should leave that stuff alone. She should leave that stuff alone.
right,
Let people. If you want you and your partner to be something, and let that be.
right.
You guys live, you guys learn, you guys know what happened. But hey, just keep in mind, because that might be a pattern.
I mean,
Mind. Like, so it might just be a revolving door of, now, you're the fiance that just got booked. You know what I mean?
right. I mean, the learning lesson is like you view the patterns of what he was doing, and you make like a mental note, and then from there, like in your future relationships, you just anytime a red flag comes up, you just go, okay,
I think this is why I think counseling is a big asset, because, like, extensive counseling, because sometimes some questions have to be asked.
right,
And if you ask certain questions like this, what have you learned from that relationship? And if you're given a generic question, I don't know if you learned that much. You know what I mean?
right. Now, what didn't help this relationship too is it was long distance in the first place with the woman in question and the guy.
The relationship she's in now long distance.
So the relationship that she used to be with the guy, it was a long distance.
So the relationship they're with now, is it long distance?
Uh, I guess the guy and his old ex, it must be close distance, but how she got evicted from the relationship, he just made a call and said, "Hey, this is da 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 da," and then just click, and it's like, "Oh, okay." So, hey, if you're listening out there, and those and that,
Obviously, if that door is closed, you leave that door closed.
you just, I mean, you
Why open the door and then, if you don't think it's closed, if he's leaving the door open, maybe that's something you gotta worry about.
right,
But you should even ask him why the door is closed at the same time, right?
right. So,
And why would it remain closed? Because, keys to the answers are thing. You can ask Maya.
yes, you can ask Maya. Now just to wrap up, how is it out there in the famous, or should I say infamous, Edmonton, Canada?
I mean, I didn't go outside yet. It's still kind of, it looks like it's raining, but I didn't go outside yet.
Right.
I'm still with my bags. It seems where the flight was kind of scary a little bit.
It was it was a little scary. Wait, why?
A little nerve-wracking.
What a lot of like,
The I seen the plane, like I was looking at the plane and then it looked like it passed a minute of it just to spin around. And I was just like, oh,
Oh.
I don't like that feeling.
Okay.
But you know what I want to ask you guys? I don't know if you guys talked about it.
Right.
But you know who Valiant is? Valiant, the dance artist.
Valiant,
Dance artist.
the dancehall artist.
Artist.
Okay.
And did you see the concert 2 days ago where the dancehall artist, the woman, which is a dancehall artist,
Right.
the man fling the mic in her face
Ooh.
as he was falling down the stairs?
Ooh. Yes. That.
Falling down the stage?
Yes.
Like, I don't want to make light of that situation,
Right.
but the Toronto Blue Jays is a pitcher.
What? Wait, how does?
I'm joking.
I was like,
For me, the serious thing about it when I saw it the first time, I couldn't believe what I saw because
it was low-key shocking.
but somehow it reminded me of baseball. You know how they you see the like it's like a rolling baseball and they pick it up and then it's in the air still they just throw it to first base or something.
Right.
That was like the dancehall version of that.
It was.
But instead of the baseball, it was a Hennessy bottle as the glove and a cordless mic as the ball.
Right. It's interesting. I'm watching pieced together footage of it. Like I'm seeing footage from in the crowd, in the left side of the crowd, in the right side of the crowd. Like
I've heard more details of the situation, and apparently it was a guy that basically dancehall. Everyone try to get a bus. You know what I mean? Everyone's trying to promote their song or promote their vibe. And,
oh, so
I guess because he seen the girls on stage, he thought they were pushovers. And I don't think that girl pushed him hard for him to throw the mic.
that's what I'm saying. Like
No, right.
she just did a shove. Like come on.
Like, what are you doing? But I honestly believe, one, there's demons in the dark liquor.
That's wow. Okay.
Demons in the dark liquor, that's one. Two, I think, man, it's one of those things that, like,
He should have.
why some people don't go to these type of events.
Right.
It's kind of dangerous. Like, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know if he got away scot-free. I don't know how he got out of that venue without getting tumped off and beat up and everything.
I'm surprised.
How he did it, but
That's what I'm saying. Like there was no like retaliation. No.
even the sound, it was just boom. Like, but I hope that dancehall artist that got hit with a mic. All the best.
I hope she's really good. Like, and I hope she takes law action. Cause at the same time, like, yo, if you're a stage manager, like, that's almost on the stage manager herself, right? So, like, you have a stage manager, you're supposed to control like what's happening, right?
But sometimes, dancehall is dancehall, and when it's sound clash, when a thing like that happens, and DJ on stage, man want to run their rhythm, and people want to run their rhythm, and, people take it personal.
Right.
But, like, to do that was wrong, and I hope, man, you're going to have to deal with what comes with that, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised not half that night. I'm surprised because, hey.
That's, hey man.
There's certain things that can't fly past some people, but I guess, certain energies and certain people, maybe still in shock, maybe, I don't know, man.
Right.
But I wish them all the best. That's the only thing that came to my mind when I thought about something that happened.
Right.
I saw that, I was just like, wow, gosh.
Right. Now I'm gonna wrap up.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna head out too.
You got it up? So those listening, James is heading out. Wish him the best and give him good luck. All right.
Y'all take care. Take it easy. Be safe.
Be safe.
All right, later, guys.
All right. I'll talk to you later. But I want to thank you guys for listening. Be sure to go to the website, which is our Instagram, theventpod. Make sure to email at askthevent@gmail.com. That's ASKTHEVENT Questions, concerns, complaints, news articles, you name it. We'll respond to you as best as we can. Be safe out there. And this is The Vent. We out. Peace.